season, and this is the absolute apex of it. Well, the beginning of the apex, if that's not a contradiction in terms of the Santos Populares festivities, and a really special day we're celebrating today as well, because it's Nuno's birthday today. And this is amazing, Nuno. Thank you so much. Let's talk to you first and wish you a very happy birthday, because we need to let you go and celebrate with your family. So I don't know if Gilda could perhaps lead the singing, and I'll join in, because I don't think Jerry, Astrid, and myself know all the words of Parabéns a você. Do we? No, I think probably not. Okay, I think Gilda's still getting ready. But happy birthday, Nuno. Thank you so much for being here. I know your family are waiting to celebrate with you. There you are in the esteemed company of the popular saints. And some people see you as a saint in the insurance industry, of course. São Nuno of insurance. How's your day been?
And by the way, I don't have in my name Anthony, because everyone asked me, oh, so your name is Antonio? Yes. No, it's not. I'm Nuno Manuel. These are the two names that I have.
And it could have been, of course, you are born on St. Anthony's Day, and so the chances are you could have been christened Saint. Well, not Saint Anthony.
Not only on not only on St. Anthony's Day, but just when the feast is on its highest point. So I born at almost 1 a.m. So everyone was just celebrating the city.
Yes. Your mother could hear the sound of the celebrations in the city. How wonderful. Thank you, Nuno. You have, look, we've got greetings. Just very quickly, Laronda is sending you birthday greetings here, and on behalf of everybody in this community, Nuno, have a wonderful day, a wonderful evening, and thank you so much for popping in to say hello to us. Go and enjoy your birthday with your family, my friend.
Thank you so much. Thank you to everyone. And if you have any question regarding insurance, just let me know. And I'm appreciating a lot the smile of Gilda. I'm not seeing everyone, but I'm appreciating a lot.
Yes,
Gilda's smile.
We just need to clarify one thing.
For sure.
Just before you go, Nuno, we need to clarify one thing. Are you 32 or 33 today? Which is it?
Good call.
Actually, 53 point.
Oh,
wow. How does he do it? We'll find out next week. We will find out about that skincare regime.
I hope I look as good as you when I get to 53. That's all I can say.
Go on, Nuno. Go and have a lovely evening. Take care, mate. Bye for now.
Okay. Thank you so much. Keep going with this amazing community, and I see you on next week. If you have any question regarding insurance matters, so just text us to iamsafe@winsurance.pt.
Now go. Thank you. Now go.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye. Have a great evening there, Nuno. What a legend. His birthday, and here he is with us. So take care. Have a lovely evening. Love to your family, and we'll see you next week, Nuno. Fantastic. It should have been Nuno Antonio, perhaps. Yeah, born at the height of the Sant Antonio festivities. Gilda, you were smiling, apparently. This is 2 weeks running.
Hello. Hi. Hello. How are you?
Jerry just winced from me saying that. How are you this evening, Gilda?
Oh, I'm fine, but I'm tired.
Yes, and we know why, I think. Well, there's all of the visa work, helping people come to Portugal, with the added complication of the Santos Populares. Do you think Alcântara were the worthy winners of the Populares, the march? What is that bit called, where the neighbourhoods march through and have their own little moment of fame on the Avenue de Liberdade?
Marches populares.
Those are the marches. Okay, were you there watching?
No.
Okay, partying somewhere else.
Yes.
Okay, all right.
That's it. I was partying somewhere else.
Right, or praying.
And if it wasn't for Pedro, I wouldn't be here today, because I forgot it was Tuesday.
São Pedro, thank you so much for being with us and bringing Gilda along tonight. So we have a very special introduction, I think, Gilda. You mentioned last week that Pedro will be joining us. What can you tell us about this man before we meet him and talk to him?
Okay, so Pedro is the new member of our team. and he's our tax consultant and accounting consultant. I'm sorry, I'm not making sense today.
We get it.
I think he can explain better than I.
Yes,
Pedro!
That's a really good moment for you to introduce yourself, Pedro. Welcome to the team. Muito prazer.
Okay, good night to everyone. Very nice to be here and to meet you all for the first time. So it's really a pleasure to be in front of all these beautiful people.
Wonderful. Thank you for being
here. Yeah. Let me speak a little bit about myself. So I'm a tax specialist. So I do taxes for a long time now. And I'm more focused in international taxation and of individuals, but also companies and related issues tax wise. So I will be very happy to help you to enlighten some questions that you might have. Wonderful. Because there are always questions about taxes when we are thinking of moving or doing something or buying a house or whatever.
Yes, well, thank you. It's great to have you as part of the dream team tonight. So any questions, Pedro says there, Pedro Franco, who's joining us for the first time tonight about taxation. The big question, of course, that we need to ask you is what it's like to be working at the AEI offices and an entirely female workforce. How has that been so far?
I was not expecting that.
The big question.
Well, so long we have been teaming up very well. I mean, women are very focused, sometimes more than men, I think. So it's really a pleasure. It's a beautiful team, and we feel the vibe and the energy of these women. They are really happy in what they do. So I think this is what my first impression is, that it's a happy place to work. So.
Yes, certainly anyone who's visited will
Thank you, Pedro. Thank you. I was afraid of the answer, but you did well.
Oh, really? Okay. Tense moment there. I think that went very well. So welcome aboard. Bem-vindo from our community as well. You're getting messages here. Before we go to the questions, please put them into the chat here on Zoom, and I'll keep an eye on what's going over on YouTube as well. Graham, good evening to you. Zeddy, Mafmores, and Andrea already over there on YouTube, and of course over here on Zoom, our premium members as well, who will prioritize with your questions. Sign up for a premium membership at expatsportugal.com. Tom's here, Denise is here, La Ronda, of course, with some lovely greetings along with Pedro for Nunu and his birthday, and Gail will get to your questions soon. But how is it? I mean, it was great last week. As I recall, Gilda, you were describing the government's new immigration measures as a wish list you could have almost written yourself. Any further developments? How's that? How are those new measures bedding in or being implemented?
Well, so far so good. The only thing that we don't have enough time to see now, and that we need to see improving, is the manpower that it's going to increase for IMA and for the consulates.
Yep.
Because that was something that was on the resolution on these migration new measures that are going to be taken. However, it takes some time. It will take some time for us to see what is going to happen in the future.
Yep.
But so far so good.
Yes, okay. And I guess everybody from the top to the bottom of the government is quite busy partying at the moment. It is a very important time of year in the Portuguese culture. And we're only just recovering from Portugal Day, aren't we? And then straight into Santos Popular.
Yes, it's too much parties.
Never too much parties.
No,
okay.
Never too much. But
Right, well,
I told you that June was the best month to be in Portugal.
Yes. And I'm hesitating slightly there. It is sardine eating month. And there was a little bit of a sardine controversy from the last webinar with Philomena. We may come back to that a little bit later on. And as Pedro pointed out, this is a terrifying time to be a sardine anywhere near Portugal. Right, let's go to Gail. Oh, no, Tom, first of all, thank you for your message. Oh, and yours, Pedro, of course. Novamente a todos. Hola, novamente a todos. and I won't attempt the Welsh. Maybe we'll get you on to do that yourself a little bit later on, Pedro. We've got Denise in with muitos parabéns, Nuno, and Tom Smith with a butard from Ohio this evening, where it's a sunny 32 degrees. That's in the centigrade, of course, for our Portuguese friends. It is supposed to get downright hot here next week. I wonder what that means in Ohio. Debbie and Steve, good evening to you in Coimbra. And Gail in Calgary, Canada, just leased an apartment in Setúbal. Setúbal in preparation for my D7 visa. Lovely update to hear this, Gail. Thank you. At the Vancouver Portuguese Consulate in mid-July. I'm coming to Setúbal in the last week of July to visit for a couple of months while I wait for my approved visa. Great strategy. Thanks for the update, Gail. If you've got any questions, you know what to do with those. And the first one, of course, for Pedro tonight. I have a tax question. 401k, Pedro. Just distributions, are they treated as regular income, or they are treated as regular income in the United States? Are they also taxable in Portugal, the 401k? Can you expand on that for us, Tom? I see you've already answered it in the chat, so good on you. But can we share that with everybody else as well?
Yes, I will explain a little bit. So 401ks are retirement plans that one makes. Like there are also ERA plans and other pension plans or insurance plans. Pensions, it's always necessary to determine how were the contributions made to those plans. If they were made with pre-tax dollars or pounds or with pre-tax money, and how are they going to be distributed in the end after the retirement age? Is it in a lump sum manner or in a monthly payments? All of this has an implication on how those pensions will be treated tax-wise in Portugal. One thing that is important, if you become tax resident in Portugal, you must see with your accountant that you become non-tax resident in your previous country. And in this case, in the US, because it's 401ks. So if you are non-resident in the US, 401ks should not be taxed in the US. The exclusive jurisdiction of taxation, according to the convention between Portugal and the US, is Portugal. So this is what I can share with you right now, that we have to look into residence. We have to look on how the contributions were made to the plans and how it was being distributed. And you must change your residency status once you come to Portugal. Of course, you have to check the consequences with your previous accountant of becoming non-resident in your previous country, because sometimes there are exit taxes and things like that.
Very interesting. Okay, yeah. So perhaps you could say a little bit more about that. That's fascinating. That you have to kind of deregister. The US, of course, is one of those 3 countries in the world where people have to still, once they've left, they still have to file their taxes. You're not going to be free of that, are you? But you can.
Yeah.
You can become non-resident, and you're suggesting that people might look at that.
That's it. Yes, you always, being an American national, an American citizen, you will file taxes forever. This does not sound good.
Oh, okay. Yes.
This sounds strange, but it's true that you file it as non-resident. Okay, and this does not cause any harm. There's no harm there to you being non-resident. Okay, and there are certain types of income that are always taxable in the US. Let me give you an example. If you were a teacher in a public university and you have a pension from the state, or if you are in the military, this kind of public pension will always be taxable in the US and not in Portugal. Okay, but this is an exception to the rule. But for instance, private pensions, social security benefits, those will only, the exclusive jurisdiction of taxation is the residency state, which would be Portugal. Okay.
All right, very good. Thank you for that. And a great question to open with. Immediately on the spot. It's a baptism of fire for Pedro this evening with the tax questions. But that's what he's here for on the Dream Team session here. So thank you very much, Tom, on that. We go to Gail. who's asking again of you, Pedro, are you familiar with the Canada-Portugal tax treaty and how I can optimize the Portuguese taxes I will pay? Optimize is a great word, isn't it? On my Canadian source pension and investment income. How best to optimize?
Yeah, sure. We have to. There is no answer in a general answer for this.
Yeah, fair enough.
If you are an HR in Portugal, you will not be there. You will have a lot of exemptions, a lot of benefits, and most of your income will not be taxed in Portugal. Okay, so this is a very big optimization. If you are not an HR, well, we have to know that income in detail to advise you on how when is the best moment to have your income, or what can you do, and you have to know the consequences. And of course, you can always eliminate double taxation. Okay, you can always deduct taxes that you pay on one state against taxes in the other states. Okay.
Right. Is that what you wanted to ask about, Gail? Are you going to join us, I think, in the conversation here?
Yes, I know you can't give a total answer, and I'll book a consultation. I just wanted to know, everyone just mainly talks about the United States and Britain taxes, and not everybody's as familiar, although there's getting to be more of us coming. But in Canada, like I have RIFs, there's some equivalencies in RIFs, which is a retired income that I contributed to, and life income funds. And I have Canadian government public pension. But the Canadian government takes a withholding tax.
Sure.
Which under the treaty, so usually because of the treaty, it's 15%. So it's my understanding, reading everything, that I can use that. They'll take it, 15%, and then I get credit when I apply for my Portuguese income tax.
Hi, Gail. I don't remember by heads all the convention between Portugal and Canada. Most conventions, they are very similar. They have some differences between some. The American is different from the others because of this nationality issue. The Canadian has also some. I know that it has some particularities. I have to look into that. I can answer you in a message later or next week. But for me, it makes sense that the public pension should be taxed only in Canada, not in Portugal. It should be exempt in Portugal, according to the convention. This is something I have to check, okay? But for me, this is what would make sense, okay? If it can be taxed by both states, because there are cases that there is cumulative jurisdiction over taxation. It can be that case. Then you could deduct on your residency state, which would be Portugal, you could deduct taxes borne in Canada. So, yes.
Okay, well, I'll book a consultation. EI is handling my D7, so I don't have NHR, but they're handling my D7 visa application. And, I'm just interested in things like with the RIF and LIF, there were employer contributions, and I contributed pre-tax dollars towards these. So those kinds of things. So I'll book a consultation, but I was just interested in.
When did you file your? When did you file your? Are you resident in Portugal already or not?
No, I will be. Well, as soon as I get my visa, which is hopefully October, and then I'll have to file a partial income tax in Canada, the last one, and then partial Portuguese. And of course, I can do the Canadian part and then get you to do the Portuguese part and talk about how we set it up.
Sure.
We are rooting for you here, Gail. We are rooting for you.
I am grateful because it is so hard.
Right.
On every form to find tax consultants that are used to expats.
What a breakthrough. What a breakthrough tonight. That's fantastic. And you already know each other when you have that consultation. And that's a really good point. How does this work? How are the consultations created? Right. And at what point in the process is the optimum time to do this? And I don't know if you want to take that, Gilda or Pedro, but presumably you can call EIA and book an appointment. When should that be done?
Gilda, can I?
Okay. Gilda's handing over to you.
Yeah.
She doesn't want to talk.
I think the consultation has two or three purposes. It should be done before you make a decision. For me, this would make, if I was to move to a country, I would not do it. I would not think of it also before. Of course, there are many reasons why we should come, but I should consider analyzing the impact of my change to a country.
Yeah, right.
And it makes sense that we make this in the beginning, and after we can decide if we go to a deep impact study of what will be my taxation in the future. Many people want to know, for example, okay, and this is my income return. How much would I pay if this income return was in Portugal, if I was living in Portugal? And we make this kind of calculations, and it's very important for people to understand. Also, because people, before moving to Portugal, they can make already decisions. For example, they can withdraw and they can distribute a pension funds before coming to Portugal, before moving to Portugal, and the taxation will be only on the source state. So there will be no taxation in Portugal. But if you are an HR, maybe it makes sense to take advantage of the benefits of pension taxation in Portugal. So these kind of issues should be cleared right from the beginning.
Yeah.
And then after we can have an impact taxation impact report, or we can file your taxes. But this consultation is, I think, it's an added value because it provides some general guidelines that one can have for making some decisions.
That makes so much sense. Not an afterthought, but a strategic meeting.
Yes, a planning decision.
Early on in the process. So contact the office, contact AEI for that, and then you could book your consultation with Pedro and have that as an important part of your early strategy. And of course, that might affect the time of year you move, mightn't it, as well? This is another important influence in all of the moving pieces of moving to Portugal. And amazing. So congratulations, Pedro, Gilda, for having this service available to people. It's such a good development. Really appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
You're going to be busy.
Gail, can I just jump in? Gail, as far as your federal pension is concerned, you might want to just ask them not to withhold any tax. And once you declare yourself to be a non-resident, I'm pretty sure that can be done.
Great. Some community help as well from Farouk.
Sure.
Thank you for your help tonight.
That's correct. Yes.
Okay. Thank you, Farouk, for being here. Much appreciated. Is there anything else you want to add, or do you have a question yourself?
Oh, me?
Yeah. Thank you for that.
Oh, no, not yet. Sorry,
okay.
thanks.
Yeah. All right, no problem. Thank you very much for being here. Much appreciated. We've got Joel and Stephanie Ferguson joining for the first time today. Good evening to you both. Welcome. Lovely to have you here in Austin, Texas, and hoping to move to Portugal around end of next year, coming for our first visit to Portugal in early October. Any questions you've got, you know what to do, Joel and Stephanie. And of course, cultural, geographical questions. I imagine you've got lots of questions, so please pop them in the chat. That's what we're here for tonight, to help you, and welcome aboard. I think we've got more taxation questions or observations for sure for you, Pedro, this evening, hitting the ground running. 401k plan is a retirement plan that you and your employer contribute pre-tax dollars to, that you can withdraw after retirement. You can take the distribution however you like, but there is a mandatory minimum distribution after you turn 70 and a half years old. That half year is probably all important in that. Thank you for that clarification, Tom. Alex is asking, Pedro, what happens in the scenario that you cannot abandon a California residency? That's very specific. Have you got a comment on that? Because I think Alex is saying it's almost impossible to do so.
Yeah, the tricky parts when you cannot abandon residency from a state or from a country is that you cannot benefit from the elimination of double taxation. So it can be tricky. The convention has the convention suggests some indications where you are resident. Okay, so if you have your family or if you have your house in one place, but the problem is that if in this case, if in California they deem you resident, they will not say what, for example, Farouk was mentioning, that, for example, if you mention that you are non-resident, they will not apply any withholding tax. But if you continue to be resident, they will not do that. They will continue to apply withholding tax.
Yes.
So the inefficiency comes in. So it's very inefficient to
Yes.
have double taxation. Yes.
And of course, as you said before, you can't give a general universal answer because each of these scenarios is unique and personal. You need a consultation to get to the bottom of each of these situations. And you can do that. You can find EI, of course, in the business directory of expatsportugal.com. Yup, it sucks being a US expat, says Jose Cruz. And I will give these comments entirely to Jose this evening because he has quite a strong view on the US this evening. It sucks, and still having to pay taxes back in the US when we get zero benefits for those payments, and you have to keep paying them forever, as Pedro said, unless you renounce your citizenship. Only Eritrea does this. I thought North Korea, maybe not even North Korea does it anymore, but certainly Eritrea, and with them, I can understand why. The US is just extorting its expats. That's a personal view from Jose Cruz there, and LaRonda adding and making it more difficult to renounce citizenship. Very interesting scenario, context there for the work you're doing, Pedro, that's for sure. Let's go to YouTube, where we've got ZE. Hi, everyone. Happy birthday, Nunu. Wish you all the best from Zach, and happy birthday, Saint Nunu. From Graham, Felicia Aniversario, Nuno, and Ola Bonoit from Math Moors. We've got a question, I think, from Graham. Ola, can one of your experts give me some advice on this dilemma? I am trying to bring my electric car into Portugal. I moved here permanently this week. I have a D7 visa, but not been able to get my second appointment with IMA. Without this, if I start matriculating, I face getting charged VAT or EVA due to this huge delay with IMA. Is there any way around this? Gilda, I'll go to you on this because you might know of a client in a similar sort of condition or situation with that.
What can be done is that the only thing right now, because of the delays with IMA, is that we can try to explain and prove and write an email to IMA to try to book the appointment as soon as possible.
Okay, so a little bit of help from you might help with that particular situation.
Yes.
Graham. Okay, let's stay with you. Is there anything else you want to add to that, or can I move on to the next question for you?
No, it's the only thing that we can do at the moment.
Okay, there you go. All right.
But some emails that we are sending to Iman with proof, with proofs, they've been analyzing it and making some appointments.
Okay,
But
very good.
they need to have a very strong justification for that.
Okay.
Which I think is the case.
All right. Keep those questions coming in over on Zoom and on YouTube, where we go to Christian now. Hi, everyone. Please give me an advice. After the recent end of the Manifest Declaration, what are the options to regularize an American immigrant living in Portugal? So this is one of the changes, isn't it, Gilda, that people who are already living here, working here, could declare their interest and their manifesta interessa, I think, and then maybe kind of trade up and get a visa whilst living here. What are the options to regularize an American immigrant living in Portugal now after these new measures have been announced, do you think?
Well, there aren't many.
Right.
There aren't many because what the government tried to do was that he's incentivizing the people to get the visas from the country of origin. Okay. So if you're already in Portugal, the best option for you is to return to your country of residency and apply from there. If you don't have income for a D7, or if you don't work remotely for a D8, you can come with a job seeking visa. But then you have 4 to 6 months to find a work contract, and then go to your appointment showing that you already have a work contract.
Yeah. I mean, this is going to be an awkward situation, I think, isn't it? Because I did see some folks who were going to take the route of declaring their interest whilst resident here. If that stopped, and I think they are being rejected, there are people who are complaining that they can't afford to get home now they're here in Portugal. And this is going to be quite an awkward situation, I think, in the pipeline, which is going to add to IMA's workload, I think. Let's move on then. Thank you for that response to Christian there. Any more questions, Christian? You know what to do. Pop them in the chat over at YouTube. The Nanu, good evening to you. Someone in Portugal reached out to my IMA in Cascais on my behalf to ask about my D2 visa delay. IMA, as usual, said that they still have not received my application from Portugal for the Portugal embassy in India. Well, that's very resourceful, sending someone along. It will be 7 months soon. Am I really at the mercy of the Portugal embassy? Can I formally file a complaint about the embassy somewhere? Can EI somehow move the gears using the legal system in any way? Well, I guess the part of that question is can you make a complaint on the Nanu's behalf, presumably?
Yes, I think it's about time to do that. And if you want to do that, it needs to go to the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. And it's much better if you do it through a lawyer that can make all the law arguments so that and do it on your behalf with the power of attorney, and see they need to answer what is going on.
Okay. All right. Thank you for that. Good luck. Fingers crossed as ever for you, the Naunu. To ZE question, received NHR and changed my residence to Portugal in December 23, which is good. What would happen if I don't file my tax this year, since it's only a very short period? Thanks. Now, we've had questions of this kind before, haven't we? About not filing because it's a short period or there's not much money involved. I'm sure you've got something to say about that, Pedro.
Yeah, sure. Thank you, Carl. You have to file if you have taxes. If you have income, you have to file taxes. You can make a proportional estimation of your taxes. If it's just for 1 month, you can make a proportion of your income and declare it. And if it's exempt, I mean, why not submit it? If you are not going to pay anything in the end, I think it's not worth the risk of they claiming after three years that you should have filed your taxes.
Yes.
Of course, the liability might be low, but I don't see the point in doing that.
And am I right in thinking that if the liability is not met, there will be fines and interest based on that later?
Yes.
On?
Yes, a fine is always they always apply a fine.
Yep.
Interests only if you have a liability.
Okay.
If you have tax to pay.
That seems reasonable. Okay. Yeah. All right. Thank you. Thank you for that response. So ZEZ, you know what to do there. Mr. S is in the YouTube chat. 401k not taxed in the US? Impossible, he says. And John is there as well. Hello to you. I think, Andrea, ZEZ, I think we've dealt with your question there. If we haven't, do let me know. Interesting question from Mr. S. Really putting you on the spot tonight, Pedro. Are accountants responsible for their mistakes in Portugal? That's an interesting. I mean, presumably there are sort of professional codes, as there would be with all professional service providers around this.
Yeah, I guess if you can prove that you have a relationship, like if you engaged in a service with someone and you have like a contract or an email, that there might be some responsibility, but you have to move to court to apply that kind of liability. I mean, everyone that provides a service to anyone has a liability, right, as long as you can prove that you have this kind of relationship.
Cause of some kind. We can expect that perhaps there's a little bit more of that in the United States, and maybe that's where the question is originating from Mr. S. You might want to say more, but I think Pedro has answered your question there. Thanks, Pedro, for the time being. Going back to Gilda then, what happens if you don't get a work contract within that 4 to 6 months? LaRonda is asking. Can you have it changed to a different type of visa if you can show that you can support yourself without a job? You have to go back home, don't you, to get the D7? You can't be doing that in country.
Exactly. You cannot change once you have that visa. And if you don't find a work contract, you need to go back and apply for another type of visa.
Yep, there you go, LaRonda. Good question. Thank you. Farouk does have a question now. For my police check for visa purposes, I didn't have to submit my fingerprints. Should I get the fingerprints as well? Do you want to add to that, Farouk? Are you suggesting, like, as a belt and braces, and to make sure you're absolutely doing the right thing, that you get your fingerprints done anyway? Does that make any sense to you, Gilda?
Yes, because every time they need to ask for, I don't know where is he from, but if he's from the United Canada, because in the United States the fingerprints are mandatory. In Canada, I'm not sure. Maybe Gail can tell you, because I don't know how you apply for a criminal record in Canada.
Ah, there you go. So Canadians helping Canadians tonight.
I'm just actually doing that to get ready for my appointment. So I don't know where you are. I'm in Alberta.
I'm in Edmonton. Yeah, I'm in Alberta as well.
Okay, so I went to one of the designated fingerprint companies that can handle it. They took my fingerprints and submitted it to the RCMP. And about 10 days later, I got back a certificate, like a criminal record check certificate that had its seal on it. I just took it to a lawyer to get notarized yesterday, and now I have to send it. Now, Alberta and BC have their own apostille agency, so I have to send it to Edmonton to be apostilled by the government, and that usually takes 7 to 10 days. And then once I have the apostilled document, that will be included in my visa application. Because, of course, Canada just joined the apostille convention in January.
Yeah.
Before, the consulates used to certify it, but now you have to get it.
Yes, but it's much better this way, because when it was with the consulates, it was very hard to find a slot. So now it will make easier for Canadians and faster to apply.
Very good. Gail, thank you.
Thanks. That's very helpful.
Part of the Dream Team panel tonight and the Canadian desk of EI temporarily. Fantastic. Thank you very much. And Farouk, is that everything for you?
Yes, it is. Thanks.
Right, wonderful. Thanks for that. I'm way over retirement age. That's how she's written it, says Denise, but I'm still working full-time, running 2 successful companies, and I intend continuing running these companies. This, I think, for you, Gilda, after moving to Portugal. Would that be considered to be remote employment? Would a D8 visa be appropriate? I'm still waiting for my heritage passport, and it's been 2 years now. So, Denise, are you suggesting that you want to quicken the process by going with a different visa there? And with that scenario, Gilda, does a D8 sound about right?
Yes, with the D8, you are able to, you can apply having two companies.
Okay, there you go. So
I definitely, I'm trying to sort of get the process running, because honest to goodness, this waiting and waiting for the heritage passport is driving me crazy. So I thought, well, maybe a D8 visa might be a good idea, but I wasn't sure if this qualifies.
Yes, it does qualify. It has like some specific things that we need to look at, but we have a D8 specialist in my team, and she can guide you through that, because having a company is not as straightforward as if you are employed by a company.
Ah, interesting distinction.
Even if it's my company and I employ I'm the person who generates the income for the company, and it is very specialized services in drug development and medical device development.
Yes, it is possible. It is possible, as I said before, but you need to justify it in a way that will make sense to be under the D8 framework, legal framework.
All right. Thank you very much, Gilda.
Thanks,
You're
Denise.
welcome. And another question, Denise. Do you have anyone that is checking on your citizenship?
Well, they say they are, and there is a lawyer that they're using in Portugal, but they won't give me their identity. And this person doesn't seem to be doing anything at all. I just get no progress, no progress, no progress. And I've paid a lot of money already for it.
Now, Gilda, I think, has seen this scenario before. What would you say about that, Gilda?
Well, what I can say is that it's taking long. It's taking about 2 years, but I was going to suggest that you talk to the lawyer to know, so that he could tell you at what point are you in the process right now. It will take months, it will take another year. Try to find something.
Yes, I've asked because I've had no queries of any kind on my application. Nothing. No questions, no comments, no acknowledgements. I've got a number, a reference number, that's all.
That must be so frustrating, Denise, because we're rooting for you as well. We've seen, you know, your attendance here on these webinars, and we'd love you to be over here. And it sounds like it's been quite the ordeal for you.
It's really, really difficult because I'm being stonewalled as far as I'm concerned.
Right.
And for me to change now is going to mean I'm going to lose a lot of money. And it's
Yes.
really expensive from South Africa. It's very expensive.
So you understand this predicament that Denise is in then, Gilda?
I do understand, and it's not the first person that I know that while waiting for the citizenship wants to apply for a visa.
Yeah. Okay. Well, fingers crossed for you, Denise.
Thanks very much. Thanks, Gilda. Thanks,
You're
Carl.
welcome. You're welcome.
Okay. The Now New over on YouTube, and incidentally, Hola boa noite from Squire of the Shires. So much more Portuguese being spoken in our community. Well done, everybody. Keep up the good work. My VFS appointment, says the Now New, was in November 23. With current speed, if I get my visa approval in 25, will I still be able to apply for the old NHR that ended on the 31st of December 2023? So the VFS appointment was November 23. Is that going to be sufficient to still qualify for the NHR, Gilda?
Well, yes, it is, but he needs to move to Portugal and change the tax residency in 2024.
Okay. So even if you come and get your approval in 25, that's the advice there from Gilda, the Naunu, on that. I mean, it's amazing, isn't it, that people will still be qualifying and moving into the country that so much later on in the process. But good luck with that, the Naunu. ZE, appreciating our earlier responses. That's great. So I think we've sorted you out over there on YouTube. Just Jess also with an hola this evening. And so let's come back to our Zoom and our premium members over here. Keep those questions coming in here. Oh, sorry, that's just a little bit of chat between members over here, which we love to see, by the way. That's excellent when members are helping each other out, and you can do that on the Expats Portugal forum as well. I'd like to get to know Pedro a little better while we're waiting for more questions to come in. Can I do this, Pedro? Sorry to put you on the spot. I already asked you the big question about working in the EI offices, but it's really lovely to find out a bit more about people. We know our dream team members pretty well, their hobbies and their interests. Can I start with Benfica or Sporting?
Yeah, Benfica.
Oh, wow. Okay, that's an upset, isn't it? That's mixing things
this
up.
year, yes, it's a big upset. Yes.
Well, you know what? It's a good job neither Daniel or Nunu are here this evening, because they'd have been
better days will come, my friends.
Very good. That's how it goes with football. And of course, the Euros coming up soon, and a great victory for Portugal in the last friendly, 3-0. Terrific goal from number 7. Fantastic. Can I ask you also your favorite Portuguese food, just to find out a little bit more about you? I want to know your favorite Portuguese dish, if you can choose one, and your favorite Portuguese wine as well, if I may.
Oh, there's a lot of them. It's difficult.
I know it's difficult. I know it's difficult.
I love food and I love eating and good wine. So I love lamb, roasted lamb, but also the cozido, the boiling meat dish. You know that they make in
the cozida portuguesa. Yes, I know.
Yes, that they make in Azores. I think that's number 1 probably.
Okay, and they do that under the ground, don't they? In
Azores, they do it under the ground. Yes, and in the Hotel Terra Nostra, for me, that's the number 1. It's the best.
Very good, nice. Another thing for people to put on their list.
A nice Douro wine to go with, to pair with it, would be fine. I love Douro wine from Douro region.
Yes,
which for me is the best in Portugal. But I think most of the wine that we drink is very, very reasonable in Portugal. So
you're absolutely right, for sure. Yeah. Now, with those 3 questions, I feel like I know you better. So thank you very much.
What about you, Carl? What is your favorite Portuguese dish?
That's a great question, and
I can answer that.
Here
sardines, grilled sardines with olive oil and pepper.
Not anymore, Gilda. Now,
not anymore.
It's funny you should mention this, because the sardine gate, the plot thickens tonight. because I think that's in the rearview mirror now. My public shaming about how I cooked sardines is a matter of public record, and I think it's in the past, and I think we should let it go now.
Yes, it's true. It's just to introduce you a little better to Pedro.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
Someone is asking, I think Denise is asking what interesting car I have here. It's a Porsche 911.
Oh, wow.
She was asking in the chat what interesting, if I'm a petrol head. A little bit of a petrol head, yes.
And a Lego fan as well, I think.
Yes.
Okay.
So,
there was
Denise, this is the car.
That's beautiful. And there was a huge Lego pastel donato I saw recently as well. You don't want to be treading on that in the middle of the night on the floor. Yeah. Very good. Thank you, Pedro. We're learning more about you, which is fantastic. So that's a Porsche.
I'm sorry, but I interrupt. You need to tell Pedro what is your favorite dish.
Yeah.
Again, I mean, yeah, it's weird, isn't it, to be answering? I mean, I'm usually asking the questions, and now I'm on the receiving end. I'm thinking there are just so many things, and it is a difficult question. I really like the porco all'antejano with clams, pork and clams.
Oh, that's a good one.
Last night we were at my in-laws have just left. They've been here for a month, and we had a lovely farewell meal last night and Sant'Antonio festivities here in San Martino de Porto. And I had my favorite, which I first experienced at this same restaurant. When we first got here, we had the arroz marisco with gamboril and camarão in it. So we've got monkfish and prawns inside a seafood rice. And I had it 7 years ago, and I had it again last night. And it's just like so comforting and like local and a really lovely, heartwarming moment. So I think that's probably my supreme and favorite. And I had a glass of their white. They're just their, you know, Vinha de Casa, and it was wonderful. Glass of white wine with that, very good.
Yeah.
But Gilda, if you'll permit me, Jerry, is to open up this this sardine gate and shift the emphasis towards you this evening. Filleting sardines before grilling them, Gilda. I want to just see the look on your face. Oh, look. Oh, yikes. What do you make of that? Filleting sardines before putting them on the grill. Speechless. She's not even gonna give it.
I'm not even understanding that.
So we were talking before about
hang on. We're not talking about filleting the sardines, we're talking about gutting the sardines.
Okay, all right. I beg your pardon. Yeah, okay.
Right? Who does that?
Who does that?
Well, everybody does that. Everybody.
Who?
Bring them to the EI office immediately.
I knew this would come up, and I knew you'd somehow get it back to what I said, Carl. Well done.
I also like gutted sardines.
And I'm looking on my other screen now. I brought it up on Google, and it must be right because it's on Google. Hold the fish in one hand with the belly facing up. Use a sharp fillet knife to cut the entire length of the fish's belly. Remove the innards and discard them. Rinse the sardines with cold water. That's what you do.
And that is a site from where? Not from Portugal.
You're right.
I'll find one from Portugal.
Yeah, let me make that clarification, because this is sardine season. This is the height now, isn't it? Of the best time to eat sardines in Portugal is in June, without a doubt. And it is the aroma of the streets of Alfama, you know, and when you go to the Arraias after the marching and seeing all the Santos Populares people taking part in the competition there, you'll go and have some sardines, possibly, maybe a bifana and a beer and a glass of wine. Now, I want to make that distinction. So cleaning, which is what I think Jerry's talking about, cleaning and gutting, not filleting. That's another whole level. But just
forget filleting.
Yeah, gutting the fish. This is not what Portuguese people do, is it? Number one.
I disagree a little bit. Some people do it. Some people clean the sardines.
Pedro. Thank you, Pedro. Thank you so much.
Let me know your address, and I'll send you that bottle. Thank you.
This was an arrangement I had.
Yeah, I can see. You were trying to.
No, that wasn't. Never met him before.
Well, okay, so maybe it's something that's beginning to happen, and I suspect with more North American visitors coming to Portugal, there will be more cleaning and gutting and even filleting of sardines.
Many weird things with sardines.
Right,
coming.
Seriously, Gilda, would you eat the stomach of a sardine?
Yes.
Would you? Oh, it's horrible. Bitter.
Says Jerry, right?
That's
Right,
that's the good grease that feeds you. It's good. It's healthy to eat that. So
Yep. So
and
there
it
we go.
tastes good. So
The jury is out. This will run and run, I think. Unlike
Okay, I
the
have another question then. What about the intestine of the prawn?
Yeah, got to eat that as well.
I eat everything.
No,
Yeah.
I can't eat that. I cannot eat that.
Can you eat tripas?
That'll be
Can you
tripe.
eat tripas?
That'll be
How
tripe.
do we explain that to
Tripe.
Jerry, Pedro?
The cow's
I
intestine.
don't know.
It's the cows. No, it's
No, the pig
it's the pig.
intestine.
Oh, the pig's.
Yes.
The
Sorry,
pig's
I beg your
intestine.
pardon, but it's still intestines. One way.
Yes,
or the other.
intestines of pig with beans and with this wonderful sauce. It's a dish from Porto, very typical, and it's very nice.
Not for Jerry. Okay, I can see a TV showing this. I want.
Jerry, you don't like. Next time we go to Porto, we
Well,
will
I had not
introduce
heard
it.
of that. I'd not heard of that dish, but I can't say if I saw it on a menu that I'd go, oh wow, I have to try that. But I even find it so disappointing when the prawns, these wonderful, great prawns come out, and they haven't taken out the intestine.
No, it gives an extra flavor to it.
Yeah, but it's a flavor of
Of
you know
sea.
what?
The flavor of
Yeah, well,
sea.
it begins with S, that's for sure.
All right, listen. You know what? I'm going to move on here. Sardines also begins with S. And just the last couple of comments in on sardines. Sardines are super gross. That's a quote from Flint Lockwood. Cloudy with a chance of meatballs. Clearly somebody who hasn't been to Portugal. Debbie, if any of you are in Coimbra this weekend, Sardine Festival starts Friday night and runs through the weekend. That sounds fantastic. And also the Book Festival in Praça Comercio starts Friday and runs all week. Debbie, loving these public service announcements. Joel, serious question. I think Jerry would offer his tripe to your dog, the golden doodle here, who has to get a B12 vitamin injection from time to time. Will we encounter any challenges on getting the dog or her B12 and syringes into the country? What do you think on that, Gilda? Do you know anyone who's done that and bringing in pet medications into the country? Is that a challenge for people?
Yes, many people. Along this time, I've been working with migration. I had many clients with different pets, with all sorts of problems, health problems. Some of them even had to came by boat because the animals could not resist an airplane trip.
Yes.
So you have to check with the vet over there, and then here we can put you in touch with another vet so that you can feel comfortable with that. But in general terms, everything goes well.
Okay, thank you for that. And you can introduce us to somebody great, I'm sure, Gilda, with that. From Debbie's experience, bring as much as you can, because it will be super difficult to get it here. I think that's probably quite a good insurance. Bring what you can whilst you're making the arrangements to find what you need in here. And I'm sure it's finding the right contact, as Gilda has said there. Tom, thank you for that YouTube link. That might be for a guide to eating sardines. Don't look at that yet. We've got a few more minutes to go. Any more questions, pop them into the chat or pop them in the chat over on YouTube. If you're bringing her from the USA, go to the USDA APHIS website for import regulations. That's really helpful, Debbie, for you, Joel, as well. And again, maybe start a thread on the Expats Portugal community forum. Other people will have dogs, have brought dogs to Portugal, and you'll get a lot of help from fellow dog lovers over there on the community forum. LaRonda saying, you guys, sorry, we're not done with sardines yet. You guys have me all messed up about sardines now. Won't be able to eat them without remembering this whole discussion. It's the same for me, LaRonda. Every time I eat a sardine, I can't help but think of Gilda. It's just what happened. Do you eat tripe, Jerry? I think probably not, looking by judging by his face earlier on.
Why would anyone eat tripe? Come on.
Delicious. That's why.
And Rhonda, I have to say that done properly, the sardines in Portugal are delicious and one of the healthiest foods you can eat. So don't be put off joking and laughing.
We're having you
really
eat the whole
good.
thing in no time, definitely.
Yeah.
Love sardines, says Alex. San Francisco here. There you go. Denise adding, I think you also need to check importation regulations for medicines in Portugal. There will be requirements for importation. I think that's back to you, Joel. There's lots of help from our community tonight. And I'm not sure. I think you're helping Alex behind the scenes there, Pedro. It's been a great debut from you. Thank you for being here. I hope to see you on more Dream Team sessions in the future. And Laronda says, I love sardines. I just never put so much thought into them. That's right. Who knew there could be so much to sardines? Such a tiny little fish, and starting so much controversy here for the last 3 years, basically. My dog loves sardines. And says Debbie. We're not this. We can't put this conversation behind us. I think, Gilda, you've got something to add to this. Does Mandela like sardines?
Yes, he does.
Okay. Yeah, and
but I try not to give him a lot, because I'm afraid that he can feel, or I need to take the spines.
Yes,
yeah, but he loves.
He's a sensitive little flower,
yeah,
as we know, of course. Okay, so before we go to Astrid, then let's conclude this. All right, let me just do a quick check over on YouTube to make sure we haven't missed anyone over there. Oh, Mr. S likes a bit of tripas, I think, eaten in Spain and France too. Big boy Crypto Pants is here. I eat the whole prawn as well as the shell and suck the head. Oh, too much information. TMI, Big Boy Crypto Pants. I eat the whole sardine as well, except the bitter bit behind the head. No to the bitter guts. The sardine conversation runs and runs over on YouTube and here tonight on the Zoom chat. Thank you, everybody, for being here. Before we go to Astrid with forthcoming attractions.
Look at what Jose Cruz just put on the chat.
We put sardines in the mixer and make a smoothie. Sardine smoothie for dogs. There you go. There's probably a business in that, isn't there?
Yeah.
Well, there already is I mean, you can buy these little pates, these little sardine pates, which actually it's what I had for my tea tonight. Had some on toast. Delicious.
There you go. But
you know what I mean? The little packs.
Yes. Yeah, the pats. I know you're a big fan of those, Jerry, and I
am a big fan of them. Yes, I think they're really good, and they're surprisingly. Sarah's not here, but Sarah was over visiting us a few weeks ago, and we sent her away with lots of little packs for her to try, and they're surprisingly have very few preservatives or chemicals in them.
Very good. That's why you should have the bladder or whatever it was. That's probably the preservative, in fact, inside the rest of the bits of the fish or the seafood. Thank you, Jerry. And we look forward to some Expats Portugal branded fish pate very soon in the Expats Portugal shop. Last words then to Pedro. Thank you. Great debut, as I say, Pedro. Lovely to meet you. Muito prazer. Did you have a concluding word or invitation for us this evening?
Yeah, I hope that you make good decisions regarding your financial situation. Always think about it and get informed. Don't try to do things on your own. Try to consult with someone, no matter who it is, but always get help, because these things can get very complicated.
Right, good to meet you. And
thank you all. It was very nice to meet you.
Yeah, see you again soon, I hope, on the Dream Team session. Pedro Franco, everybody. And finally, Queen of the Visas, Gilda.
Hi.
Final word.
Yes, I think.
Are you going out? Are you going out in a minute? I mean, this is early, isn't it? It's 10 o'clock in Portugal, and there is partying to be done.
No, not today, because I party until very early this morning. So
okay,
I need some rest. Yeah. Okay, but I think I want to say something. I'm very happy to have Pedro in our team. Of course, he had to be very special for me to have a boy in our team. He needed to be very skilled and very special. So here he is, Pedro, and he's going to join us more times in the Dream Team.
Fantastic. Thank you. Well, look at that. Glowing.
Thank you, Gilda. Lots of love.
Thank you to you both. Over to you, Astrid.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody, for joining us tonight. Okay, a little bit of a recap of what's happening next. If you are in the Porto area or you're happy to travel to Porto, we do have an in-person meetup on June the 19th, which is this coming Wednesday. So come along and meet Hank and Connie, and Jerry and I will both be there as well. So you can find more details of that in the events calendar on the site. So please come along. And then next Thursday night, we have a webinar with Sarah Davey about what you need to know about transferring money to Portugal. So if you are in the position needing to send money for a house, money for a car, money for living, your pension, whatever it might be, she's definitely the right person to speak to get the best deal for your money. So don't miss that one. And then we have the Dream Team again next Thursday night. So it should be a good one.
Perfect. Thank you very much, Astrid. Cheers to you, Pedro, Gilda, and Nuno earlier on, who's having a lovely birthday celebration this evening. And everybody who was over on YouTube and here tonight on Zoom. Thank you, premium members. Take care. Bye for now. And sign up if you haven't already at Expats.